just making sure when it's time for district play to start that you're rolling and you guys are ready to go.
And for over a year, renovations have been underway at Bailey APAC.
All the plumbing throughout the building is new, updated LED lighting throughout. We're getting all new ductwork for the new HVAC piping. Every classroom will get painted and the floors refinished. Each one of our student restrooms are being renovated. The new choir room. This classroom will be our new art classroom, new sinks, new millwork and countertops. A set of girls and boys restrooms that have been added. In this ground floor we have 5 classrooms that will accommodate the students from Wales. These rooms are all new. All of these offices accommodate our 4th and 5th grade administrative staff. The cafeteria, all new ductwork and piping. Black piping that you see is all new sprinkler piping. It's previously used as just a storage area. It will become the new band hall for our 6th through 8th graders. This is the kitchen at Bailey. We're making extensive plumbing renovations, all new electrical. Our PE classrooms for girls and boys. Here in the gym, the ceilings have been painted. We've received new lighting. We received air conditioning in the gym. In the library at Bailey, new HVAC ductwork. The ceilings restored. The floors will be refinished.
We anticipate the completion of renovations in the spring of 2025, and we look forward to our Bailey Middle and Wells APAC scholars moving into their upgraded facility by fall 2025.
Please visit our website at jackson.k12.ms.us. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, Comcast, channels 18 and 19, and YouTube at youtube.com/JPSITV.
Welcome to the 2024 Jackson Public Schools Partners in Education Highlight Awards program. Give yourselves a hand, please. We are here today because of you, because of community organizations and churches and civic groups and individuals who understand the value of investing in Jackson, because that's really what community partnerships are. They're investments. They're investments in our children. They're investments in our institutions. They are investments because by example, we say this is how we do life together. Strong roots and changing seasons. And if I've learned nothing else in my almost 19 years of Jackson, is we have some strong roots in Jackson. Things change, right? But as long as the root system continues to be nourished, we can continue to grow. And I'm just excited to do life and JPS with you all. So thank you so very much for being with us this morning. If you don't know, Partners in Education is now community, parent, and family engagement. So this is Ms. Adams. She works with our parent centers. You also see in the program that we're moving to Chastain in July. You have to come and see the parent centers. We have an elementary, middle, and high school parent center that provides resources to JPS families. You got to come and see it if you've not seen it so you can share it. This is Mr. Darwin Robinson. He is our Watchdogs coordinator. Dads of great students. Now, can I brag on JPS for a minute? JPS is the only district in the nation to have a full-time person specifically charged with increasing engagement of dads and men of integrity. And then this is Ms. Tanisha Jones, our office manager. So Ms. Jones is the person that you will leave those big checks with today, right? Right? She processes all the money, okay?
Welcome to the Jackson Convention Complex. I am Mickey Ant, a proud 2012 graduate of Lanier High School. Make some noise, Lanier High School. We are so delighted to host the Jackson Public Schools Partners in Education Highlight Awards here today, and we are extremely grateful for your presence. Thank you for choosing our venue, and we hope that you all have a wonderful time. Enjoy the food.
First and foremost, I applaud each of you for being here to celebrate the remarkable partnership between our corporate community and the public school system. This morning we will recognize and honor the outstanding contributions that our business partners have made to enrich the educational experiences and opportunities for Jackson Public Schools. These collaborations not only help bridge the gap between classroom learning and real-world applications, but they also pave a path to a brighter and innovative future.
I just want to say that a city becomes great when the righteous are a blessing to it. You're here today because you believe this. You know this deep down. You believe deep down that we truly are better together, that we grow together. Let us carry on the work of restoring our city from battleground to playground together.
Let's all congratulate Reverend Van. He is Bailey APAC Magnet School Parent of the Year.
And the rockets spread clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through that night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
As the seasons change, so too do the needs of our schools and the ways in which we support them. Each partnership is a branch reaching out and adapting to new challenges and opportunities. And so whether it's a business providing resources, a nonprofit offering membership, or a volunteer dedicating time, every contribution is a vital part of our growth. The fruits of our labor are evident in the achievement of our scholars who flourish with the encouragement and the resources that we collectively provide.
Our schools are not isolated entities. They are a vital part of the larger community they serve. Similarly, communities thrive when they invest in the education and well-being of their youth. Community partnerships offer invaluable opportunities for students to explore different career paths, fostering a sense of purpose and direction from an early age. By engaging with professionals and industry leaders, students can envision their futures more clearly, setting goals and working towards achieving them. Thank you.
So we are very ingrained in every community within our three-county region, but we've got Jackson in our name, and JPS, Jackson, the city of Jackson, very near and dear to our heart, and it's very important to connect both the business community with the education community. Under the leadership of Dr. Eric Green, we're able to revitalize it, reinvigorate it, and start connecting more of our business partners with scholars from JPS. We're also a college town, too, and a lot of those JPS scholars are staying here and they're going to those colleges and universities. One of the things that we have been working hard to do over the last year is start connecting our businesses with younger scholars, exposing them to the business setting. And we are very proud to be just a small part of this and helping bridge that gap between the business community, the scholars, the educators, and to support it, because without a successful partnership like this, we will not be a successful community, and I refuse to let that happen. Thank you very much.
We have been blessed with the opportunity to represent the entire state of Mississippi on an international stage at the International Thespian Festival. We were able to showcase our students. They were able to participate in workshops, compete for scholarships, and out of all of the performances that went up here, our production of Property Rights by Alan Hannell was the one that was chosen to represent at the international level, where 8 other countries will be flying to meet us in Bloomington, Indiana, or we will get to perform for the world. So we have been sponsored by Pygott Law Firm, and we also have been blessed to have our registration needs met by Jackson's homegrown Angie Thomas, donated $20,000 to help us get our registration covered. We still have $10,000 that we're trying to raise to cover our transportation costs. So you can find us on Instagram at APAC Theater Jackson. That is APAC Theater, spelled with an REJXN.
District 4909. Are you ready? Shh.
that you see standing before you are a representation of the human embodiment and all that we are afraid of, so to speak, when we start talking about autonomy. They are pre-programmed beings, and so while we are watching these figures be auctioned off, we are also watching and raising the conversation about AI.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether to is nobler in the mind, to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms.
There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would suffer the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong? I say to you today, my friends, in spite of difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream.
Hey, what do you think of this dress?
It's great. I bet it set you back a paycheck or two.
Guess how much I paid for this dress?
More than I can afford, I know that.
Would you believe 75?
No.
Yes, and there are plenty more like this at Stevens Designer Dresses.
Stevens Designer Dresses? Where's that?
Holland Street, right across from the mall. Look for the big red sign, Stevens Designer Dresses.
Sounds like a bargain to me. I think I'll go there tonight.
Starting with the Adopt a School Anniversary Awards for 2023-2024, these are the 5-year continuous recipients: Wingfield High School and the She Project. Next, Wingfield High School and Regions Bank, Wingfield High School and the Jackson Area Federal Credit Union, John Hopkins Elementary and the City of Jackson, McWillie Elementary and the Hobbs Agency Alpha Insurance, Shirley Elementary and New Horizon Church, Isabel Elementary and Mount Nebo Baptist Church, Clausell Elementary and Thundering Presbyterian Church, Clausell Elementary, Thundering Baptist Church, McLeod Elementary and Christ United Church, and Provine High School and Hope Credit Union. Representing our 10-year partnerships, Blackburn Middle School and Bank Plus, Clausell Elementary and Greater Mount Bethel Church, JPS Career Development Center and Jackson Area Federal Credit Union, Green Elementary and New Hope Baptist Church Men's Ministry, Dawson Elementary and BFW number 9832. Now for our 15-year partnerships, Johnson Elementary and Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Beta Alpha Chapter in Jackson. Now recognizing our 20-year partnerships, Key Elementary and U.S. Silica, and 25-year partner, Lanier High School and the Lanier National Alumni Association.
And we have a list of our campus contacts. Those are the individuals who are the liaisons between the schools and the community partners. They work very hard with no additional compensation. And so we want to make sure that we recognize our campus contacts. So once I get y'all married, they take over. And they are the point persons. And we're losing them this year. They're all retiring. And we say congratulations and thank you. And we, yeah. Okay, MAPE. So there is a Mississippi Association of Partners in Education, a state-level partners in education. Because Jackson Public Schools is so brilliant, we always get awards every year. And we have a number of schools who receive Partnership Excellent Awards, and I want to recognize that the only high school that received a Partnership Excellence Award is Lanier High School and the National Alumni Association. Dr. Blake is a first-year principal, and Dr. Blake got, between him and Joyce Greer, who is the campus contact, they have managed to get over 10 new partners at Cardozo Middle School this year. Hines Comprehensive Health, our JPS, Jackson Education Association, the Clinton Branch of Regions, Highway 18 Branch of Regions, Kelly Natural Gas Pipeline, Atmos Energy, Chick-fil-A, Pizza Hut, Subway, and Walmart on Highway 18, Mississippi Food Network, Sisters in Love, Joy and Full Glory LLC, and the Mississippi State Agricultural Extension. Amazing partnerships. And we have 2 elementary schools who receive Partnership Excellence Awards, and I'll ask you all to stand. That is no other than Lori Torrey at Span Elementary School. Thank you. And some of her partners are here with her today: Bellwether Church, Northminster Church, Rotary Club of Jackson, Raising Cane's, and Mississippi Children's Museum. And the amazing Joycelyn Smith of North Jackson Elementary School was recognized with a Partnership Excellence Award, and that is in consideration with their partners with Integer Nuclear, Paul Moak Subaru, Salvation Army, Lighthouse Ministries, and Aldersgate United Methodist Church. We are doing amazing things, but we can only do it together, okay? I want to let you know I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. So thank you all so much for your hearts, your hands, everything that you do to support Jackson Public Schools. A friend of mine told me a poor man tears down his own house. The best thing you can do for Jackson Public Schools is tell the good news of things we're doing every day, every day.
The Hardy Hughes Athletic Complex is where hundreds of JPS scholars and parents gathered for the 2024 JPS Summer Olympics, a day of summertime fun and enriching activities.
So this is a wonderful halfway mark or culmination of our summer programming. This is so important for our kids because, you know, in the summer we tend to regress in our learning, so you know we definitely want to make sure that we're keeping them brushed up academically. But for this event, it's very much a social, emotional learning, JPS Joy event, and our scholars get to enjoy and be exposed to a variety of activities. JPS Joy is all about both adults and children feeling joy in all that they do. They love coming to school. They love being engaged in the activities. It's about building relationships. And more than anything else, it's about them personally feeling fulfilled.
We are JPS!
I just want to congratulate all who were a part of this event. It took a whole village to make this happen, and we appreciate everyone's support.
The JPS Summertime Olympics was a shining example of JPS Joy, emphasizing the importance of creating great readers and great players.
Coach been with us, well, for our seniors, he's been with us for the last 4 years.
Today marks a significant moment in our journey as the Murrah High School's men's basketball team.
Most coaches dream of this.
A former Murrah High School basketball player returns as the new head coach for the Mustangs.
And we want to make sure that we celebrate Coach Caldwell today. Coach Caldwell knows the tradition at Murrah. At Murrah, we have a tradition of excellence when it comes to basketball. We want to make sure that Coach Caldwell, you're developing your players, developing their talent, not only on the court, but off the court, also in the classroom.
The memories of those days, the hard work, the triumphs, and even the failures have all stayed with me and shaped me to be the person I am today.
Coach McGinnis and Dr. Nicholson made a great choice in the selection of Coach Jeremy Caldwell.
Sparking high hopes and excitement for the upcoming season.
We are happy to welcome Coach Jeremy Caldwell as our new head coach. We look forward to a new chapter that promises growth, unity, and victory.
I am profoundly grateful for the overwhelming support that I've been receiving over the last couple weeks. You guys don't understand how much it means to me. It truly means the world.
Our new head coach has passion and enthusiasm for the game. He instills in us to play hard by always giving our best effort on and off the court.
It's the spirit of the community, the dedication of the students, the support of the families, and the unwavering passion for excellence that we all share. And that's the Mustang culture.
We're just excited to get to work, excited that, he's entering this new stage in his career, and we're just ready to get to work.
This is the beginning of a new day.
Welcome to the Jackson Middle College Open House. I am so excited to see so many new faces here tonight. We're thrilled to have you join our family. This evening is all about getting to know about our amazing program, meeting our wonderful teachers and professors, and discovering the opportunities that await you here.
This partnership that we have with Jackson State is one of my newest obsessions. Thankfully, we've got lots that's going on here in Jackson and in Jackson, with Jackson State and specifically in JPS, that really brings a lot of pride and joy to my heart. I may be a little biased, but I do believe that becoming an educator is one way to literally make a really huge mark in the world. There's something about the education field that prepares people to go into the world with a little more confidence, a little more strength, and with a belief that they can do something that's of value. We're helping folks to find and create and feel and know value in their lives. And to know that we have a program right here in Jackson Public Schools, and in partnership with our friends at Jackson State University, to develop from an earlier stage some educators that should send a strong message to folks.
So the name of the program is Count Me In, a collaborative effort between JPS, Jackson State University, and the Mississippi Department. It's an innovative pilot that's aimed to identify and nurture students with high mathematical aptitude. The program is structured as a dual enrollment partnership where students take both high school and college courses, enabling them to earn university credits while still in high school. By identifying and nurturing students with a strong aptitude for math early on, the program not only ensures a steady supply of qualified teachers, but it also addresses a specific need in our district. Through this program, JPS, Jackson State University, and the Mississippi Department of Education are investing in the future of both our students and the Jackson community.
And at this time, the students are going to sign a contract. Ms. Madison Cox from Provine High School. Ms. Brandy Day from Murrah High School. Mr. Demarion Graves from Provine High School. Mr. Ray McClinton from Lanier High School. Mr. Sheldon Smith from Provine High School. Miss Malia Wilson from Provine High School. And we also have Ms. Zaria Wilson from Jim Hill High School, and unfortunately she could not join us today because she's also part of the amazing Jim Hill Choir, and they have rehearsals.
As a former mathematics educator, I am excited to take on this journey with our second cohort of scholars. Let's give it up for them one more time. Because I can tell you the road to mathematics education, though it is challenging, it is very fulfilling because you get to sell math forever. Because if you were one of those students in school that said, oh, I'm not a math person. Just know we are creating the people that's going to help you love math.
All right, so I have the wonderful job that I never knew I needed. I get to teach them how to teach. The biggest thing, we want you to enjoy this experience. We expect you to be great. We expect you to be here because, you know, obtaining bachelor's degrees is kind of costly. So we want you to be here, be present, and then participate. There will be times of what we call in the education world productive struggle, and that's okay. As was mentioned by Ms. Marshall Thomas, we have instructional coaches that will come. We have teachers, we have tutors. We got your back. Okay, so all you have to do is let us know, hey, I'm not getting this. You all also have the best professors ever that are part of this program.
So joining the middle college has been one of the hardest yet rewarding experiences of my life. I was so scared to leave my friends and the little life that I made for myself in high school so far. Learning to balance college and high school work while juggling band was extremely hard for me, but I'm thankful for all of the gracious staff and professors that helped me begin my journey. All in all, getting to participate in the Jackson Middle College has changed my life for the better, and I look forward to moving onward and upward this school year.
Over the course of my 2 semesters as a freshman at JSU and as member and president of Jackson Middle College, I've learned a lot. Through experiences, different groups of people, and extracurricular events, I've also gained a lot. To start, coming into Jackson Middle College, I wasn't very happy about joining, mainly due to the fact that I was being forced into this little teaching camp. So I thought. Over the summer, right before my junior year, we had a pre-camp to get the swing of things, and I ended up surprisingly enjoying my experience. I met some people that thought how I thought and saw how I saw, and I was like, oh, I might like this. As a group, we all learned how to become balanced while learning from each other. That was how I experienced my first year as a member of Jackson Middle College.
I hope that what encourages you tonight is that you are working toward a goal that's bigger than just yourself. It's bigger than just your degree. It's bigger than just your personal accomplishments and accolades, and we know that you're going to get many. What you are investing in and what you're saying today when you signed that paper and made the commitment to this program is that you really believe that you have been called to a career that is designed to influence and impact and have a positive outcome on the lives of other people.
To cohort 2, I want to say welcome. Welcome home. This is Jackson State University and Jackson Middle College and JPS. We're your family and your extended family now.
Yes, I am Jackson, born and raised.
A 2020 Murrah High School graduate who went to Yale University returns home, where he now teaches English at Murrah.
English department here has been very helpful with lots of resources, and JPS in general has given us lots of professional development and training. So much guidance, really prepared to, plan out my classroom and make changes. A lot of the concerns that I had as a student are sort of fresh on my mind now, but from a teacher's perspective. So I'm trying my best to address those as I can moving forward.
A wonderful example of giving back to the community and inspiring the next generation of scholars.
These are kids fresh out of middle school, and so it's really exciting to see just how excited they are about being in high school, ready to come to the classroom. So I think it is a little bit different than I remember, but it's refreshing.
Do what we do best, play football.
And plenty of enthusiasm and high expectations.
Jackson Public Schools Board meeting is now called board. We have 4 members who are present, 2 persons who are on the phone. So we have all members who are present. We've all had an opportunity to review the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt it as presented?
Ms. Hilliard.
Yes.
Ms. Hilliard, before we vote, this is Ed Seaback. Can I make a motion to modify the agenda to move
business, I would like to be in person, which I will be shortly, for that presentation.
Oh, by all means, yes. We want to hear that. So you want me to move it to where?
To the end of the agenda.
At the end of the agenda. Okay, thank you. Second. It has been moved and second that we will move the school back report to the end of the agenda. All in favor? Aye. The motion is passed. All right. Are there any other changes that we need to attend to? Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda as amended.
All right, it's been moved and second that we would move that under item B. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The motion passes. There are no nays. We've all had an opportunity to review You've all had an opportunity to review the agenda.
You've done we're on the minutes.
Okay. We've all had an opportunity to review the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the September 3rd, 2024 regular board meeting minutes?
Madam, I so move.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Figures, second by Ms. McGuffey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are there any nays? There being none, the motion is approved. Now, the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mrs. Hilliard. Good evening, board members, to our JPS team members and community members and our partners and all those who love Jackson Public Schools and the babies and families that we serve. Good evening. I'm pleased to have an opportunity to share with you some of the highlights via the highlights reel from our ITV team. So they'll begin my remarks. I'm told that we're having some technical issues, so we'll come back to our highlights reel. We'll begin, board members, with a bit of a celebration. Today, I wonder if you knew this, today is National IT Professionals Day. And it's celebrated each year on the third Tuesday in September. It's a time to honor the information technology professionals who are so essential to all of our work and ever more essential as time goes by. I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our entire team of exceptional IT professionals for their unwavering hard work and their dedication, long hours, and just striving to address all of the myriad of issues that come about. Their expertise and support ensure that everything runs smoothly within our district and helps to make a significant difference in our daily operations and, of course, in our instruction. We deeply appreciate them and their efforts to keep us connected and productive. Today we celebrate them. They're often our unsung heroes. We hear often about challenges with connectivity or with our devices or that, but we're not always thanking them for all the days and all the times that our devices are working and that we are connected. And so we want to say thank you to that entire team, headed by Mrs. Erin Mason. Please, let's join me in giving them a round of applause.
I think I saw that we're ready now, so why don't we go to our presentation. Should I get the IT professionals in? No shade. All good. I'll keep going and we'll see. You want me to go or what?
Yes, sir. We'll come back.
Okay. Better call Aaron Mason's team, I'm just saying. Okay, more good news. Board members, I'm thrilled to share some exciting news with you. The Mississippi Department of Education has selected 7 of our exceptional educators from Jackson Public Schools to serve on the 24-25 school year MDE Teacher Advisory Council. And I ask Dr. Cormack to join us now to provide a little more information about the Teacher Advisory Council and to introduce our outstanding educators.
All right. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Green, members of the board, and our JPS community. The Mississippi Department of Education has expanded the Mississippi Teacher Advisory Council with the addition of 45 distinguished educators from across our state, bringing the council's total membership to 195 educators, outstanding educators. We are privileged to have both new and returning members and several of our notable Jackson Public Schools educators among the group. As I call the educator's name, we have a certificate for each, and we would love for you to take a photo with the superintendent and members of the board. And so please join me in congratulating the following outstanding JPS educators. We'll start with Miss Alexandria Drake, who represents JPS Tougaloo Early College High School. Next up, Mr. Jason Effling of Bailey APAC Middle School. Right. Beautiful. Stacy Jules Dunn from Shirley Elementary School. Miss Rhonda Murphy Johnson of Jackson Middle College. Perfect. Good to see you. All right. Miss Margaret Price from Casey Elementary School. Miss Barquita Stanton of Span Elementary School. And Miss Cassandra Watkins of McWillie Elementary School. The MTAC, which includes educators from diverse backgrounds and specializations, plays a crucial role in providing feedback and guidance to state education leaders, ensuring that teachers' voices are integral to shaping educational policies and initiatives. And we're so pleased to have this group in the number. So let's give them a big round of applause.
So wonderful to see that all of these amazing educators that we see and we experience day to day that the rest of the state is getting to know and getting to know their brilliance, and that they're tapping into their insights to help to inform what's happening here in our state. And so it just makes us really proud to have you representing us, representing the state. Thank you for agreeing to give of your time and your insights in this way, and we just know that we'll all be better for it. Again, congratulations to you. And now, yay, nay? Give it up. I see you called in the big guns. Oh. We're being punked. It's like a prank or something.
Nice to see that the experts have problems too.
All right, friends, I think we'll just have to maybe share it later online or something. Getting the Baptist finger. Okay. All right. Maybe lastly, we'll see. Maybe lastly, board members, as part of our commitment to providing ongoing support and learning opportunities for our educators and staff, we've incorporated full professional development days into the calendar, the district calendar, and I think you'll recall this because we had to present that to you previously. I'm very pleased to provide you with an update on our first full PD Day, which occurred this past Friday, September 13th. The primary objective of these PD Days is to extend beyond simply meeting professional development requirements. Our focus is on addressing specific areas where improvement has been identified and ensuring that our PD efforts are both strategic and impactful. And so at this time, I want to invite our very own Dr. Kimberly Smith to join us and provide an overview of the day's events from this past Friday. Dr. Smith? Okay.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
To Board President Sivak, who I know he's listening while driving, our JPS school board members, Dr. Green, and our JPS family. It brings me great joy to discuss how our strategic plan, Commitment 4, organization effectiveness is manifesting itself through a commitment to a district-wide culture of accountability and excellence that aligns with our mission, our vision, core values, and strategic commitments. In abbreviation, one of the ways we are achieving this goal is through an unwavering dedication to professional development and learning. On Friday, September the 13th, the day after a severe weather district closure due to Hurricane wanted to appear Francine, we engaged over 1,500 JPS team members in a full day of professional learning. Our academic members focused on building content capacity and collaborative planning, while our operations and facilities teams focused on customer service, payroll and benefits, and leadership. Both types of professional learning incorporated our 5 principles of professional learning, showing primacy of practice, which is our 20-80 rule, where we have 20% of new content, 80% practice, showing our own, doing what we know to do with excellence, using our district tools and resources. Less is best. What is that one strategy that we want our audience to walk away with and to implement quickly? And lastly, beginning with the end in mind. How does the session yield the outcomes we hope to accomplish? All sessions were designed to provide our team members with practical tools and strategies that could be implemented in their areas of work to improve the organization, whether this is in the classroom to better support our scholars or facilities to ensure we have improved learning environments. Some of our highlights of the day: for our workshops and our sessions, many of our 108 sessions were led by our internal district leaders, curriculum leads, and network coaches. But we also had our lead partners to play a role, such as CT3, our college board, Major Clarity, Mississippi Department of Education, and curriculum associate partners also led sessions to provide support on specific platforms and opportunities to increase the rigor in instruction. Our sessions included interactive lessons, demonstrations, and role-play opportunities that allowed team members to practice new techniques, incorporate equitable learning methods by moving from fidelity to integrity, and discuss strategies with their peers. We also collected feedback. Feedback is the food for champions. We do this through our professional learning system of PowerSchool. Some of our feedback included we gathered, teachers stated that they appreciated having extended collaborative planning time. They had opportunities to make and take activities to immediately use in small groups and centers, and having competent and qualified presenters leading the sessions. Also, they enjoyed being able to network with their peers. But although we're still gathering feedback from our team members, the feedback has been positive. Many teachers are appreciating the targeted and focused sessions that we need in order to move from this accountability rating that we have today to on up. We will continue to debrief with our new feedback to refine our professional learning offerings and ensure they continue to meet the needs of our teams effectively. Our next steps include our district leaders, curriculum leads, and network coaches' continued support of what was provided on Friday. We want to know, is it being implemented? If so, how so? And to what level? And what is still needed so that we can make sure that this time well spent on these 100% days and the funds expended will yield a positive return on our investment. Our next full professional learning day is October the 18th.
I want to thank you, Dr. Smith, for providing some additional information about the PD Day. As you were talking, it occurred to me, and I had not thought of it in this way, we basically put on a conference all across the city. What did you say, 108?
108 sessions.
Different sessions.
Yes, sir.
We basically put on a conference on Friday, and we'll do it for each of these professional development days.
Yes, sir.
With that range of content areas and topics, and really trying to meet everybody's needs in various ways. And I got the number. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it right quick, but I believe 67. Yes. So just in terms of staffing, we expend about $767,000 for these PD days. That's just the staff, just the people that we have on staff, and what it costs us to have this day. But this is us investing in our people. It's not just in their salary. It's in helping folks to grow and prepare and plan and build team and get direction and create direction. And so I wanted to really stress the importance of this day and make sure that publicly we talk about this wasn't just a day off for students and for our scholars and where we sit around and maybe do some lesson planning or what have you. As important as that is, so much more than that occurred on Friday. And so I want to publicly thank you, Dr. Smith, of course, Dr. Cormack and the entire team who helped to lift up this really bold and important day of learning for our professionals. And I'm confident that these are the kinds of things that will help us to see the increased performance that we need to see. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And just a quick plug, although our students were out, they had career exploration activities to conduct while they were out, so still learning. And so October 18th, in partnership with our network assistant superintendents and Jana Williams, they will have another career exploration day in October. While our teachers are learning, they are too about what careers they want to aspire to be.
I love it. Well done. Chess, not checkers.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
One final try.
New shoes for Walton Elementary School scholars.
Second year that we've done it, and this year we increased to 100 pairs of shoes. It's been sponsored by what we call our Giggles and Kicks.
We have been partners with Walton Elementary School for over 15 years.
We have a challenging time with getting parents to come in to register our scholars, and I'm very grateful that they would offer support and incentives.
The shoe donation comes as an incentive for parents and a reward for scholars for registering for school early.
Sneakers for the first 100 parents of students to register this year.
Children need to see that they're all a part of the community. It's not us and them, it's we. And together we can do some great things. This is a wonderful opportunity for the scholars to witness what it looks like to give back.
We're just excited to get to work, excited that, he's entering this new stage in his career.
Today marks a significant moment in our journey as the Murrah High School's men's basketball team. Most coaches dream of this.
A former Murrah High School basketball player returns as the new head coach for the Mustangs.
Coach McGinnis and Dr. Nicholson made a great choice in the selection of Coach Jeremy Caldwell,
sparking high hopes and excitement for the upcoming season.
We are happy to welcome Coach Jeremy Caldwell as our new head coach. We look forward to a new chapter that promises growth, unity, and victory.
I am profoundly grateful for the overwhelming support that I've been receiving over the last couple of weeks. You guys don't understand how much it means to me. It truly means the world.
Our new head coach has passion and enthusiasm for the game. He instills in us to play hard by always giving our best effort on and off the court.
This is the beginning of a new day.
For demonstrating excellence in promoting healthy habits such as exercise and eating healthy, Jackson Public Schools will be honored from the halls of Congress with the 2024 American Public Health Association Presidential Citation. This national award is due in part to the school district's partnership with local organizations like the Boys and Girls Club of Jackson and the Jackson Hines Comprehensive Health Center.
For more information about Jackson Public Schools, please visit our website at jackson.k12.ms.us. Follow us on Facebook at Jackson Public Schools, on Instagram at JPS Student Voices, on Twitter at JPS District, Comcast channels 18 and 19, and YouTube at youtube.com/JPSITV.
It was worth the wait, I know. I want to thank the team as always for producing such a high quality video and for capturing all of these really important moments and happenings across JPS land. You'll hear more board members about this APHA, American Public Health Association award or citation that we're receiving, but we're making plans for me to travel to receive the award from the from APHA, and I believe Dr. Chapman from Hines Comprehensive Health Center will join us in receiving this, because it's not just a JPS award, it's the JPS community and all of our work together to keep folks happy and healthy, because we all know how important it is. So more on that, but I did want to just give you a heads up on it. With that, Madam Vice President, I believe that concludes my remarks, unless there are any questions for me.
Thank you so very much for such an excellent report. And one question, when you do these professional development days, can we sneak in?
You don't even have to sneak. Please do join us. Please do join us. And
very impressive.
well,
very
let's
impressive.
take a note to one, to make sure it's on board members' calendars, and we can make sure that you have a sense of where things are, because we're all over the city
Okay.
for all sorts of topics. So just kind of choose where you want to be and join us.
And from what we are hearing, what we have heard, we can only go up. Yes, absolutely. And that's
Indeed, we can only go up, and we'll only go up. And stay tuned. Tell your friends. Stay tuned.
thank you.
Stay
Board
tuned.
members, comments?
I was just going to echo, I'd actually talked to a couple of teachers at a few different schools across the district, and they'd all said really great things about last Friday. And I had one request kind of coming up. Nobody's ever said that to me before. I had one request as we come up on the October one, if we could get and sort of hear feedback from our lead partners as well. Like, I think it's I loved hearing feedback from the teachers, kind of what they're saying, but hearing what the others are seeing in our people. I think I'd be really interested in hearing feedback from them. Again, just kind of focusing on who's given what, you know.
Yes, and yes, absolutely, we will do that. And you've got me thinking about just other opportunity, excuse me, other opportunities or ways that we might want to hear from some of these lead partners. Yeah. Excuse me. They're pretty involved with us, not just on a PD day, and so I think it might be helpful to have them come in and share along the way, not just at the very end of the year. This is what we're seeing, this is what we're doing, this is what we recommend, etc. Okay.
Do we get any coverage on this so that the community can see what's going on and, in the district? I want us to brag about
Yes, ma'am.
JPS, because there are good things that are going on, good things that are happening in the district.
Yes, ma'am.
And other districts need to see.
Woo, she says as she looks into the camera. So I don't believe we had coverage this time around.
Dr. Smith?
Well, I mean, and remember, there were 108 sessions on the day after a would-be hurricane. Some of the sessions had to be shifted. We didn't tell that story because some folks couldn't fly in, on and on. But still, we and I think more than Dr. Smith, for Mr. Johnson and our public relations team, let's make sure that we see this as an opportunity not just for us to do some great work internally, but for also tell the story. I receive that. We receive that.
Yeah. Board members? Yes.
I was just going to say, I totally agree with that. I'm always about, telling our own stories and shifting the narrative, because, some, of course, you're going to see stuff on the internet, and it's like, JPS, y'all could do better. 2 days before a storm that didn't happen, such. But to hear that, to know that this was something already planned, which people don't always understand, but to know that this kind of beautiful work came from it. And I know, and they don't always listen at these board meetings. I know. Y'all have great board meetings, by the way.
Y'all.
Because you give us good information and you're doing good work. That's why, and that's what makes it good for us to get the reports. I just want to be able to tell the story to others so they can see and be a part of this great work that we're doing in the community.
That is fair. That is absolutely fair. I know that we're getting better about telling the story, but there are parts of the work that it never occurred to me to invite the media. maybe it did to others. It never occurred to me. We were so intent on providing a quality day for our team members, and it's also a time for folks to be a little vulnerable and dig in. There's some things that I need to know and get better at or what have you, but there's still a way to tell the story, and so we receive that, and we'll make sure that it happens at the next one.
And especially when it was coupled with what the students are doing on the outside as well. Like, it's a day off, but it's not a day off because you're still doing work. Yeah. And we need you to come tell us what careers you're exploring. Like, what did you find out there? Or even if, I don't know what that looks like, what the career exploration day looks like, but that would be good to get a report for some of the students to figure out, like, come tell us, did you go to your job with the parent or whatever? I don't know what that looks like, but it would be good to hear back from them as well.
Yeah. Heard.
Okay.
We'll make sure it happens.
Are there other comments? No other comments. Let's give this group another round of applause here. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, do we have any participants? Okay. No participants. All right. Now next we have information only items. We're down to that portion of the agenda. ESSER 3 monthly update, July the 16th, 2024 through August the 15th, 2024. Ms. Boeing.
Good evening.
Evening.
Let's see. All right. I'm Warren Bowen. It's good to see you all this evening. This evening, we'll be giving a monthly update on the ESSER 3 projects, reflective of July 16, 2024 to August 15, 2024. We will also, in this, give you a current percentage completion because that certainly is a month ago. That's the project. Right? Our first project is Pecan Park. Pecan Park right now is showing at 83%. Today, that project is somewhere around the 90% completion. Our scholars are actually inside and enjoying classrooms and good air and no leaks and all those good things. And the next item is, let's get this to work. What's going on here? Bailey APAC at 64.5% complete. Currently, that project is running around 75% complete. The change orders and the painting upstairs is moving forward aggressively, and so are the rest of the contractors. Come on now. What's going on? It's not doing it. There we go. Jim Hill. Jim Hill is at 98.3%. And that project is basically wrapped up, but we're holding the 1.7 to make sure that the closeout is done properly, all inspections are complete, so that's what we're doing on that project currently. Okay. Career Development Center, this is the interior classroom upgrades, 44.3%, which right now is somewhere around the 50%, 55% mark. That project is also scheduled on time and moving forward. Career Development at the trade building right now is showing a 10% completion, but that project currently is somewhere around the 25 to 30% completion. All plumbing is in, concrete repoured, project is moving forward aggressively.
Nice.
And on schedule. The Capital City Alternative Project is also showing 50.2%, but it currently is ahead of schedule and around 70% complete, and that's moving forward aggressively as well. Package A, Bates, Blackburn, Cardozo, Forest Hill, and People's HVAC improvements, 97%. Board, we will leave that at 97% until we have done finals and done a proper closeout on it.
What is that showing?
I'm sorry.
Look, she's looking at the photos. Can you tell us what the photometrics are? He's looking out. He's catching the air on his phone.
Oh, yes, he's letting them know that that is that's an infrared to confirm whether it's leaking, whether it's hot. Red means one thing, blue means something else. And that's part of our testing tools to confirm that the work is being done properly outside of just our natural eye. That's what that is. Package. Yeah. Package B, Callaway, Kirksey, North Jackson, and McWillie HVAC improvements, 87%. That project is also close to ending, and we're holding out to the very end to make sure that closeout is done properly as well. And it is ahead of schedule. Package E, Casey, Galloway, Span, Whidden, which we now has been renamed to New Shirley, at 35.5%. That project is actually today 45% at minimum, and it is on schedule for completion. Package F, Casey Northwest restroom renovation, is basically complete. Again, we're holding out that last 3% because we have to officially close it out properly. ESSER renovation at Murrah High School at 17%. That project right now is closer to 25% complete. It is on schedule to be wrapped up in December 25th, on December 25th. Okay. Provine High School. Provine High School is at 42.7%. Project is really right around 45%, and been moving forward aggressively with the window installation as well. The restrooms and HVAC indoor upgrades for Isabel Elementary, shown at 8%. That project is moving aggressively. Some of the best looking plumbing work I've seen in years, and it is currently somewhere around the 20% mark completion. Powell ESSER renovations, drainage project, shows at 12%, but it's really right around 20 to 25% complete right now, and it is on schedule for completion. ESSER renovations at Timberlawn. Timberlawn's project is certainly not 2%. We are somewhere around the 20 to 22% completion on that job right now, and it's moving forward really good and aggressive. Substantial complete projects to date: Wells APAC renovations, Boyd Elementary and restrooms and HVAC renovations, Whidden as now New Shirley restroom improvements, John Hopkins Elementary, Boyd and Green Elementary window replacements, McLeod Elementary restroom renovations, Powell ESSER renovations, and that concludes the update. Yeah, any questions, I'd be more than happy to address it.
Before my board members ask any questions, I'm going to ask, is Ms. Robinson here? Yes, I'm going to ask Ms. Robinson to join us and talk about schools where we have had recent or have some recent work happening on HVAC systems and are still experiencing some challenges. We're specifically talking about Jim Hill and McWillie.
Yes, good afternoon, board members. So we are still experiencing some problems with some of our chillers, some of them having some minor issues. So at McWillie, we had the contractor there working on the chillers. One of the chillers had a fault in it, and it needs a repair part. So McWillie's air was off for a while yesterday. Got it back going, and one chiller is working, the second chiller is not. So even though things are fresh off the assembly line, sometimes there's some manufacturer defects in some things, and so that we are working to resolve that second chiller at McWillie. At Jim Hill, the air did go out this morning. At Jim Hill, it was a controls issue. They were able to remote in and get that controls issue addressed. But we, like Mr. Bowen said, we are holding out money before we final payment to make sure we're receiving the best quality equipment and installation.
One of my questions, listening to that especially, is what is number one, that doesn't cost us extra.
No, it's still under warranty, yes.
Number two, what do we have in place when the project does close? Because we're going to close it eventually, right? Mm-hmm. And what do we have responsibility-wise from the contractors, warranty periods, anything like that to get them back out? If there is, like you said, I bought products that were fresh off the assembly line, and and they ain't work. So
A one-year warranty is standard with all construction projects. In addition, some of our equipment have as much as 5-year warranty parts on parts, so we will make sure we have everything and know which piece of equipment has what type of warranty, and make sure that we are tech available, make sure that we get that service that's required with that warranty if anything does fail.
Sorry, board members, I know we kind of went down a rabbit hole with a couple of those things, but I knew we had received some questions on those two issues. Any other questions for Mr. Bowen and the team?
One thing I was just going to say, this isn't so much a question as just a comment on the planning that went into this, the implementation that went into it. I have gotten comments from numerous community members commending window replacements at Provine and at Murrah. And so, and I happen to live by one of those schools, so I'll echo that as a community member, it looks great. That's not a question so much as I just want to sort of applaud that process. I had one person talking about Provine that works at the library, told me that they were not aware that some of those were windows until they were removed and they had windows put in, right? Because they looked like concrete. So those are incredibly important steps for outward-facing things that the community can appreciate as a whole, that our kids will appreciate certainly. But you know, I've said this for a long time. The facade is not actually the thing where our kids get educated, and so it's not the most important thing, but it's kind of really important. So I just want to sort of applaud some of those outward-facing projects. I know, and I also want to just say, a lot of the plumbing work that's getting done is immensely important for 20 years from now. You know, and so I don't lose sight of that, but I had gotten comments and wanted to share those from people in the community. Talking about some of the projects that we're doing.
It's important. It's very important.
Matters.
It matters.
It matters. It actually it matters so much that it will project on the children and their performance. Because when things don't look a certain way, they feel that's how you look at them, and they don't have to perform a certain way. Because I ain't nothing, because this ain't nothing. And y'all don't believe we nothing. But it's the levels of expectation. Mm-hmm. And so when we have a better, higher level of expectation for our community, for our children, for us, mm-hmm. we feel better, we look better, we can hold our heads up higher, and we can feel proud about that building we're about to walk into, and then we can put some good work in and get some good work out of it.
Yes, ma'am.
And last thing for me, I'm champing at the bit to see some of these projects as they wrap up. So I'm excited as we get sort of closer and closer toward that end line. I want to encourage our people that when we get done with these big projects, that we're doing the work of storytelling, taking the old, not so great pictures and putting them side by side with the new, so great pictures of Pecan Park, of the new cosmetology rooms, all of those. Like, there's some great, beautiful work being done, and to show that out to the world when it finishes, whether it's ribbon cuttings or whatever. Let's keep that in mind, because, like Ms. Thompson was saying earlier, it's on us to tell our story. Mm-hmm. And we're doing so much really high-level facilities work. This is the opportunity to sort of toot the horn instead of taking the punches, right? Mm-hmm. You're always going to get called when the chiller goes out, right? But you don't get to come and tell everybody about it when we do it right. So I just want to encourage us, as we near completion for a lot of these big projects, that's the time.
Yes, sir.
I had a question. I was asked a question about the projected, and it came from some people who are at Bailey APAC, and they wanted to know whether or not I could give them a projected date as to when they would be able to go back to their own building. Of course, I can't do that.
So we do have like a projected completion date of the project, the end of December. So whether we could transition January, I'm not sure. Okay. So probably it'll be August of 2025 before full enrollment there.
We were concerned about a possible date in terms of when they would be able to go back to their own school.
Yes, ma'am. I believe what the date that we've socialized is the summer of 25.
Summer of 25.
Yes, and we're in conversation as to how we can start to live into the space sooner. So more on that, but the plan right now is that the building will be complete or thereabout mid-year, but we've just got to think through, so what does that mean for the school to move in? But there's also opportunities for us to have programs there and all sorts of things. So,
okay, thank you.
Summer of 25.
Summer of 25. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Hilliard. I get asked that question at least twice a week.
Yeah.
So
the answer is summer of 25, and should that change, we'll communicate it broadly.
Summer of 25. Thank you. Board members, are there other questions, comments?
Y'all be mad we move in and the stuff is broke.
Thank you. Now we will move to item B. Sufficient data.
Skip.
C. Oh, C. That's right. I'm sorry. Forgot. Item C. Approval of various policies. Attorney Harris.
Good evening, Board President Dr. Seavag, Vice President Ms. Hilliard, Board Member Superintendent Dr. Green, JPS Community. The Office of the General Counsel recommends that the Jackson Public School District Board of Trustees review the following recommendations related to the amendments and deletion of these policies. BFA, Public Records, IDF, District Assurances for Children with Disabilities, GADQ, Vacation and Paid Leave, GADE, Sick Days, JBJ/IGD, Promotion and Retention of Scholars, and IGAAA, Graduation and Transition Services for Students with Disabilities. These policies were discussed in our Policy Review Committee meeting on September the 10th, 2024, and the Office of Public Engagement posted these policies to our website on September the 17th, 2024, to allow the public time to review the changes and make any proposed comments. Are there any questions?
Okay. Thank you. Board members, are there questions, comments?
Yes, Ms. Hilliard, this is Ed.
Hi, Ed.
I was wondering if Attorney Harris could just walk through any of the changes that were made to the policies so that the public can know.
Absolutely. So for the BFA Public Records, we recommended that policy to make our policy consistent with our request form. There was a provision on our request form that required they require requests to be submitted via mail or hand delivery on our form, and so we just changed our policy, recommended changing our policy to be consistent with that form. For IDF, District Assurances for Children with Disabilities, we were updating this policy to updated to be consistent with MDE requirements and to include the language that the district process and procedures for child find for children with disabilities. For GADQ, Vacation and Paid Leave policy, we're recommending amendment of this policy to be consistent with a prior amendment we made to a related policy, our vacation leave chart. It previously listed employees as 239 days or above, but the amended days for employees is 230 above. We no longer had that 239 category, so we're recommending amendment of that policy to be consistent with our leave chart. Sick days policy, GADE, recommended amendment of this policy to add a provision that allows for the request of a doctor's excuse for absences of less than 4 days if misuse of sick leave is suspected. The current policy requires that employees who are absent for 4 or more consecutive days to submit a doctor's excuse on or before that 5th consecutive day from their doctor, denoting their need to be out for sickness or illness. And then we recommended amendment of policy IGB/JBJ, promotion and retention of students, to update some outdated language and to become consistent with the current MDE requirements. And finally, we recommended deletion of policy IGAAA that set out different types of graduation options for students, because we no longer carry the occupational diploma option, and all available graduation options are included in our current policy IGB. So this policy was unnecessary and duplicative.
Great. Thank you, Attorney Harris.
Mm-hmm. Are there other questions, comments regarding the report? Thank you, Attorney Harris. Board members, if there are no more questions, thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, we need action item. Okay, the action item. Is there a motion? No motion. Okay. Okay, next we move to the information action items. And I believe, Attorney Harris, that's you too.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening again. The Office of the General Counsel's Department of Risk Management is recommending that the Jackson Public School District's Board of Trustees permit the Evans Agency to purchase workers' compensation insurance coverage through BitCo Insurance Company to continue to provide workers' compensation insurance policy for Jackson Public School District. Began working with BitCo during the 2019-2020 school year to provide workers' compensation insurance for the district for employees injured on the job. This coverage was renewed for the 23-24 school year. And this is a guaranteed cost insurance policy, which does not require a per-claim deductible. This 2024-2025 renewal premium is estimated to be at around $1.9 million, which is approximately $54,000 higher than the premium from last year. However, this increase in cost for the premium is related to the pay raises that we did district-wide. The proposed claim service include basic claim handling, medical bill cost containment, nurse case management, medical treatment authorization and review, legal defense, and subrogation recoveries for third parties. Are there any questions related to this?
Thank you, Attorney Harris. Are there questions, comments, board members? Is there a motion to approve information action item A?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mitch, second by Frank. Are all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, no nays. There being none, the motion is approved.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Cook. Approval of expert citizen license application for an employer at the Career Development Center.
Good evening, Dr. Sivak and Ms. Hilliard, board members, Superintendent Green, and our JPS family. The administration is recommending board approval of the 5-year expert citizen license for Ms. DeLacy Harper Mack, endorsement area 959, cosmetology. This is in accordance with the Mississippi House Bill 1388 that allows for us to do expert citizen license for those individuals who meet the criteria. Ms. Harper Mack has 16 years of verified work experience in the cosmetology industry. She's a certified cosmetologist and cosmetology instructor by the Mississippi State Board of Cosmetology. She's also had formal training at Belhaven University in the area of business. The acquisition of all these requirements for the expert citizen license define Ms. Harper Mack as a viable candidate for this license, and her industry credentials demonstrate her competency in the field of cosmetology. Awarding this expert citizen license to Ms. Harper Mack will ensure that our scholars continue to receive high-quality learning experiences through her instructional delivery.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Cook. Are there any questions or comments from board members?
We need a high licensed teacher for that fancy room, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Other comments, questions? Is there a motion to approve information action item B?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Cynthia, second by Mitch. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? No nays. There being none, the motion is approved. Okay, next on the agenda, we have approval of Black Educator Initiative, BEI grantee agreement. Dr. Knowles.
All right. Good evening, Board President, members of the board, Dr. Green. The administration is requesting approval of the Black Educators Initiative, or BEI grantee agreement between the National Center of Teacher Residencies and the Jackson Public School District for the 2024-2025 school year. So Jackson Public Schools has developed its own in-district residency program, which is TEACH JPS. TEACH stands for Teacher Education Apprenticeship for Change, and we are currently a network partner with the National Center of Teacher Residencies. As a result of this partnership, Jackson Public Schools has been awarded a $210,000 grant through the Black Educators Initiative as a part of that partnership. So last year, we received $64,000 from the same initiative, which required us being a NCTR partner. This past school year, we graduated our first resident from the program, Ms. Jasmine Hardy, who graduated with her bachelor's degree in elementary education from JSU, and she's earned dual certifications in elementary education and special education. She's currently signed on to teach second grade at Span Elementary for this school year. Through this same partnership and through this funding, we were also able to provide scholarships to student teachers as a recruitment initiative. We had 3 scholarship recipients last year. Jasmine Hardy was one of those. We also had Courtney Sutton, who's currently at Baylor APAC teaching mathematics, and we have Emmanuel Austin, who's at Powell Middle School teaching English. So we plan to use the $210,000 to support district residency programming and continue to focus on recruiting educators of color, particularly male educators of color, that are needed to complete their student teaching through our student teacher scholarship that we offer. And residency participants must commit to teaching in JPS for 3 years beyond certification. Our scholarship recipients are required to teach in the district for 1 year.
Thank you. Impressive growth. Are there comments, questions, board members?
I do. I just want to applaud this. Like, I know we talk about this a lot, but the creativity involved in recruitment, I just want to applaud that. The growth of this grant, that's phenomenal. And this entire sort of residency type arrangement and the scholarship program in particular hits home for me because my daughter is in Miss Sutton's class. So, I just want to say thank you for continuing to push and push and push for better ways for us to do recruitment, and especially when it's through grants and doesn't cost us money. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Knowles. All right, is there a motion to approve information action item C?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Cynthia, second by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
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 No nays. There being none, the motion is approved. approval of the renewal agreement between Mill Creek Schools, Pearl, and the Jackson Public School District. Ms. Bingham, Dr. Bingham, I believe it is.
Good evening, Board President, Board members, Dr. Green. The Office of Exceptional Education Services is presenting for approval the renewal agreement between Mill Creek Schools, Pearl, and the Jackson Public School District. The purpose of this agreement is to establish working procedures between the JPS District and Mill Creek Schools for provision of services for children eligible for special education in compliance with federal and Mississippi state law and regulations. A JPS scholar that will be recommended for placement at a day treatment facility such as Mill Creek has a profile that includes several key characteristics. Here's a general overview. They would have mental health needs. They may have a mental health condition that significantly impacts daily function. Performance. The scholar would struggle with concentration, memory, and motivation, leading to declining grades or academic achievements due to mental health struggles. Social and emotional functioning. The scholar would have difficulty forming or maintaining healthy peer relationships, possibly leading to isolation or conflict. The scholar may exhibit disruptive or withdrawn behaviors in social settings, impacting relationships with teachers and classmates. Also, family dynamics plays a part in the recommendation. The family may struggle with managing the scholar's needs or may need additional support and education about the scholar's condition. The scholar may have a treatment history. They may be receiving or may have received a previous outpatient therapy or currently receiving mental health treatments that requires a more intensive and structured program. Safety concerns. The scholar may have self-harm or suicidal ideation. They may pose a risk to themselves or others, requiring a more controlled and monitored environment. The goal for treatment at outside facilities is to stabilize the scholar. It aims to stabilize their mental health symptoms and improve overall functioning. Attending a day treatment facility can provide a structured support, therapeutic interventions, and academic accommodations necessary for the scholar to make progress in managing their mental health and succeeding in their education environment. The plan or the goal is to work on transitioning the scholar back to a less intensive educational setting and integrating them into regular school routines.
Thank you, Dr. Bingham. Board members, questions, comments? There he is. Okay, I believe you are the next one also?
Yes, ma'am. And it's Mill Creek, but it's Mill Creek and McGee. Mill Creek and McGee provides us with residential placement for scholars that need to remain at the center overnight.
Okay, and the next one also? Next item, Jackson Public School.
This one is a renewal agreement between the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitative Services and the Jackson Public School District. The purpose of this MOU is to describe the terms under which Mississippi Department of Rehabilitative Services and our school district will collaborate on planning for the provision of seamless services and to facilitate the most effective and efficient process to provide services for students with disabilities who are transitioning into post-secondary school or post-secondary education and training and employment. The MOU will define the working relationship and clarify the collaborative roles and responsibilities to provide these services to our scholars.
Okay, thank you. I believe that's the three that you have there. Are there questions, comments, board members? Okay, is there a motion to accept item, to adopt item?
Madam so moved.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved by Frank and second by Mitch. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. No nays. There being none, the motion is approved. Okay. Dr. Cormack?
Good evening once again. The Jackson Public School Administration recommends the approval of the project agreement with Operation Shoestring to provide after-school and summer-related activities to the students at Galloway and Walton Elementary Schools.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Trying
Yes, ma'am.
to relinquish my duties.
All right. You're doing such a great job. It's all good. Yes, ma'am.
Me too. No, just kidding. Great. Thank you, Dr. Cormack. Board members, are there any questions about the request to approve the renewal agreement with Operation Shoestring? All right. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Hilliard has moved. Mrs. Thompson has seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Cormack. Next, we'll invite Ms. Margaret Purnell.
Can we, just for clarification, board members, for both of the Mill Creek items, and I think,
The last
D, E, and F.
yeah, if we, at the intent, I hope was to take those all in one
three.
motion?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Attorney Turner. We'll invite Ms. Margaret Purnell up now, our Executive Director of Business Services, to request the approval of the preliminary monthly financial report for August 31st, 2024.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Board President, Dr. Sivak, board members, Superintendent Dr. Green, JPS team members, and JPS family. The administration recommends that the board approve the preliminary monthly financial report for the month of August 31st, 2024. The preliminary monthly financial report includes the statement of fund balance, the budget status report, the bank reconciliation report, and the district maintenance cash flow report. So for general funds, for as of August 31st, 2024, our preliminary fund balance was $19.5 million, $3.2 million greater than it was FY23 of August at the closeout period during that time. Our revenues as of August 31st of 2024 are slightly lower than it was, slightly lower this year over the expenditures, which represents about $3.2 million that the revenues are under the expenditures. Our 16th section revenue, we have collected roughly about 23.7% of the budget, which is about $243,000 under the general funds. On the special revenues, under child nutrition, of course, has a significant balance supporting our school cafeterias and their fund balance, which is great, as we always anticipate, which is roughly about $11 million. There are several special revenue funds that shows negative balances due to our timing of our draws that we do for requests, which request as of September the 12th of the next month, of course, and right then those negatives represent about $7.4 million at the current time as of August 31st. We have requested roughly about $5.9 million of that currently as of September the 12th. The budget status report, with budget status, we have our, of course, anticipated revenue is $231 million, which is our budget. We have collected $23.5 million of that as of August 31st, which represents 10.2% of our collected budget. All other funds, we have collected about 22.1 million, which represents 12.1 of that particular budget of all other funds. On our expenditures for district maintenance, we have expended $26.7 million of expenditures, which is 11.5% of the budget at the current time, which, as stated earlier, collected versus expended is roughly $3.2 million in the negative, which is under the revenue. The bank reconciliation report, all district bank accounts are with board-approved depositories, and all the bank statements are reconciled appropriately and promptly as of July 31st of 2024. The cash flow report, the ending cash balance as of August 31st is roughly about $5 million compared to August of 23, which is roughly $7.1 million. That's a 2.1 decrease from the prior year's position, which is roughly about 30%. Other management key performance indicators, from there, our headlines from that report as of August 31st of 2024, our overall revenues collected year to date is $7.4 million, which is 45% greater than it was last year. Overall expenditures is $4 million greater than last year. Now, our ad valorem collection is about $600,000 more than what it was last year during the same time as of August 31st. Our personnel and benefit is roughly $572,000 more than it was last year. And of course, as we stated, that is part of our budget and what we have budgeted for the salaries and projected for the raises that we have for this fiscal year. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Mrs. Purnell. Board members, any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Ms. Hilliard has moved. Mr. McGuffey has seconded. All in favor? Aye. The motion carries. Thank you, Mrs. Purnell. Next, we'll invite Mr. Earl Burke, our Chief Operations Officer, up to the podium to request the approval of the emergency closure of schools and district offices due to Hurricane Francine, a state of emergency, and providing administrative leave with pay for all employees. Mr. Burke.
Thank you, President Sivak, board members, Superintendent Green, audience. Ms. Purnell was wanting me to thank y'all again for giving us the opportunity to come out and share all this financial information with you. That's
She's always welcome.
Yeah, that's really not what she said, but the administration recommends the approval of the superintendent's emergency closure of schools and district offices on Thursday, September 12th, 2024, in response to Governor Reeves' state of emergency. Additionally, the administration recommends authorization of additional administrative leave with pay for all employees, including professional, certified, and classified staff, i.e. bus drivers, custodial staff, and support personnel impacted by the unforeseen school closure per board policy AFA/EBAA on emergency closing of schools.
Thank you, Mr. Burke. Board members, are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Thompson has moved. Mr. Figurs has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries.
Aye.
Thanks, Dr. Harrison. The motion carries. Next, we have the consent agenda items. Finance. The board has previously reviewed all of the consent agenda items for finance, and we had an opportunity to ask the administration questions. Any further questions, board? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Hilliard has moved. Mr. Figurs has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The motion carries. Next, we have the consent agenda item general. The board has previously reviewed all the consent agenda items for general. We've had an opportunity to ask the administration questions. Are there any further questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. McGuffey has moved. Ms. Hilliard has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Next, we have the consent agenda item personnel. All the consent agenda items personnel have been reviewed by the board previously. We've had an opportunity to ask the administration questions. Are there any further questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Hilliard has moved. Mr. McGuffey has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 The motion carries. I believe that brings us to our MAAP proficiency data update. Thank you all for waiting for me to do this in person. This may be one of the most important presentations of the year, and so I'll invite Mrs. LaToya Blackshear, our Director of Planning and Evaluation, up to the podium to provide us the 2023-2024 school year update. Mrs. Blackshear, take us home.
You couldn't run fast enough.
All right. So, okay, let me get my clothes right. Okay. All right.
You all only knew. You only get a snippet.
All right. So, good evening, Board President Dr. Sivak, board members, JPS community, family, and friends. So I stand before you sharing the results of our 2024 Spring State Assessment. Okay, with all of our presentations, we like to remind everyone that we're grounded in our vision and our mission statement, and that's what you see projected here. So our vision is to prepare scholars to achieve globally, to contribute locally, and to be fulfilled individually. Our mission is to develop scholars through world-class learning experiences, to attain an exceptional knowledge base, critical and relevant skill set, and the necessary disposition for great success. So everything we do in the Office of Data and Accountability touches one or more of the 6 core values. And for this presentation, you'll see a strong focus on equity, excellence, growth mindset, and of course, relevance. So the purpose of this presentation is to provide you with a high-level overview, a summary of our state assessment results, where I will review our current level of proficiency. I'll also compare proficiency data to prior years and spotlight schools that have shown an increase in proficiency as well in various subjects and grade levels. Last but not least, discuss next steps based upon our performance data. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our ELA proficiency. So, okay, it's coming. In 2021, our ELA proficiency was 18.3%. We made commendable progress from 2021 to 2023, with ELA proficiency sitting at 33.6%. However, we experienced a decline this year from 36.6% to 29%, a little over 4%, resulting in a little over 4% decrease. I promise I'm pushing it. Okay? By grade level, so all grades experienced a decline in our proficiency compared to the peak in 2023. Our 4th grade had the greatest change in terms of improvement from 22 to 23, but then when you look at our 5th grade, it had the greatest decline with 36.9%. Now, while we did experience some declines in all of our grade levels, the table here displays the schools that show growth in 1 or more grade levels, and we do want to celebrate those schools for showing that growth. Okay, so for example, you'll see that the bold denotes if a school showed growth in 1 or more grade levels. For example, you see North Jackson experienced growth in 3rd grade and 4th grade. Then you see where you see Lake Elementary saw growth in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And I also had the opportunity to speak with Principal Johnson and ask what attributed to her success in the 13% growth. And she said that she was very intentional. Well, I say 19.9%. She was very intentional with creating individualized plans for all of her students based upon her benchmark 2 data. Okay? She didn't wait till the 3rd benchmark. She began creating that plan at benchmark 2. And she also noted that while at the beginning of the year she repaced her standards, but she also repaced again in January to ensure that all standards are taught in its entirety, and they view data biweekly. Here you look at our secondary ELA proficiency. So you again see a consistent growth from grade 6 and 7th grade in English 2 from 21 to 23. But we do see a decline in our proficiency in our grades with English 2 showcasing the greatest decline. Again, we always want to make sure that we celebrate our schools that increase their proficiency in one or more of the grade levels. And here you see where we have 4 of our schools, Northwest, Kirksey, Powell, and Provine. And again, when reaching out and communicating with Northwest, he contributed his success to his extra tutorials and an all hands on deck approach. Every teacher there had their assigned scholars and provided tutorials based upon the standards and individual needs.
Thank you.
So in our math data, you'll see over the following years, from COVID year to after COVID, 2021, 2022, we more than doubled our proficiency. Our highest proficiency as of yet was in 2023 with 30.4%. We experienced a slight decline in 2024 with sitting at 29.5%. Okay, so here you'll see all of our grades. Again, when we look at from 21 to 23, we experienced growth. Our grades 3 and 4 experienced proficiency or showed a decline in proficiency in 2024, with 4th grade showing the greatest decline of 12%. However, when you look at math, this is our 3rd year in a row increasing in proficiency with almost about 4%. But if you're also thinking about it, 3 years ago, math was one of our targeted area in terms of increasing proficiency, and we're on track with that. Again, you actually see our schools that displayed an increase in their proficiency. And again, we spoke about the greatest decline being in 4th grade mathematics. However, when you see Walton Elementary, his rate of change was 26.2%. And again, he spoke very clear about his intention on making sure that he targeted that cohort group of students. So that 4th grade group of students are the same scholars that showed growth in 3rd grade. And he started by ensuring that they had a strong foundation in pre-K to 2nd grade with instruction, ensuring that they were strong in numeracy, fluency, and all of those. Our secondary, for the 3rd year in a row, you actually see our 6th grade and our 8th grade had an increase in proficiency. Our 6th grade had an increase of 3.8%. Our 8th grade experienced a 5% growth. We did see a decline in our 7th grade. And again, we want to congratulate those schools listed in the table that increased, and you have your Bailey, your Kirksey, among a few others. And you'll see Kirksey is highlighted throughout. And they, again, contributed her success to just her stakeholders, her partnerships that she had with her partners, her consultants, her academic coaches. And then also, if you think about in middle school, we also piloted the outcomes-based contracting, where we specifically targeted our level 3 scholars. Science, we were very, continued to experience a steady upward trend in science, going from 33.2% to 40%, and now at 40.5%. Although we saw a lot of positive, we're excited about it. We know there's still work to be done. We're going to get it increase it even higher. Here are a list of our schools that had that increase in terms of proficiency in 1 grade or more. Last but not least, you have our history proficiency, where we saw an increase in proficiency from 21 to 23, and we showed a decline in 2024. And again, we celebrated Provine for the rate of change. So our next step. Now, so of course we're going to continue to take an in-depth look at our MCAS data, our universal screener data to ensure all of our scholars in pre-K to second grade have the necessary skills needed to be successful before they take the third grade. So by doing that, we're going to continue to provide training to our pre-K teachers on the reports that we're receiving from the platforms to ensure that we are providing them with the necessary supports. And then we're going to continue to analyze all of our student assessment items and the benchmark data to ensure that our teachers are teaching the entire standard and not part of the standard, and then ensuring that our teachers have a good understanding of what is needed or what our students need to know in order to be successful or master that standard. We're going to ensure that all of our assigned teachers ensure that our teachers are assigned to the best the subjects or grade level where their strength and expertise are maximized to the fullest. We want to make sure, we had a lot of schools that were closed, so we want to ensure that if sixth grade is where you're supposed to be, mathematics, that's your expertise, we're going to ensure that you are there. Last but not, provide assistance to teachers who have consistently faced challenges. We've identified those teachers, those who have consistently been low performing or having low proficiency. Place a significant emphasis on addressing the needs of our subgroup data. We're looking and going in depth with that. And then also, we've noticed in our data some of our opportunities for growth is maintaining those students that are already levels 4 and 5. So we can continue. So how we're going to do that is allocate time for enrichment, increase the level, the rigor of our instruction. All right. And at this time, I am going to yield the floor to Dr. Cormack, who will assist in some of the questions.
Thank you, Mrs. Blackshear.
No worries.
Jesus. So nicely done. Hey, stay ready, don't have to get ready. There we go. Come on.
All right. Well, board members, are there questions, comments?
Yeah. I have a question.
Please.
For those teachers who consistently, how do I say that? Who consistently show no growth, what would be the strategy to move them up? I think that's what I...
So there are a variety of things. First off, we start with leadership. We want to make certain that leadership is well aware of the data and those teachers that have trended in that direction where they're showing limited growth or minimal growth. Additionally, we have both district and school-based supports in terms of their planning time. And so quite often, Ms. Blackshear referenced one of the common phenomenon, which is executing a lesson that teaches a standard in part, but not in full. And so one of the things that we are doing both in the full day PD that you saw Dr. Smith speak to is unpacking standards and speaking to the level of rigor that's required to reach the standard. So you might see in a math class, today we were at one of our middle schools doing some observations, and we looked at students who were learning to do simple equations. And part of the standard required that scholars learn conceptually what is required so that when there's a variable in a number, they need to be able to conceptually understand that the number that I start with in this sum might be bigger than the ultimate, the product at the end. Or in a subtraction problem, the number that I start with is larger than the ultimate product. that is a conceptual understanding that has to be unpacked. And if you just teach the algorithm, hey, do this first, do this, you're not addressing all aspects of the standard. So in small group, we work with teachers to unpack the standard and to match the level of rigor that they'll see on the MAP test to the level of instruction in the classroom. That's a really tangible example that builds the skill set and the muscle to attack things differently. We also work to build content knowledge and capacity. As we have shared with you, we have a wide strategy around teacher recruitment, and we take those who have gone through traditional prep routes and those that need time to grow into the role of becoming teachers. And so part of that work is also the capacity building to ensure that even the thing that you are certified in is the thing that you know and know well. And so that is our shared work of building capacity and working to make certain that they get the supports that they need, both to tack what they may not know around content knowledge, to tack the pedagogy, and to ensure that the work that they receive aligns with their area for growth. So it's a complicated puzzle, but it's one that we believe that we have the supports in place to tackle successfully.
And at the end of all of that support work, there is the administrative support with principals to make different choices about who's assigned to a class or who continues to teach in our schools, right? So much of the work is around how we support and develop, but at some point there is a decision that needs to be made about who continues to teach at all or who continues to teach a higher level math or what have you. And those are conversations that our assistant superintendents and Dr. Cormack are having with principals, because we're watching the data as well. And at some point, it's not just about what the principal does or doesn't do, it's on our watch. And so we can't allow teacher so-and-so to continue to struggle and nobody is doing anything. At some point, the support, there's a different type of support that we've got to give you. And it could be removing you from this work that you're not best suited for.
Thank you.
Other questions, board members? I'll start running through some. I was looking at the secondary ELA, which, let's see, in particular on the English 2 exam, it looked like we didn't just drop from 1 year, but we dropped below 2 years ago. So what's some of the findings from digging into the data around what happened? And I guess, again, it's their degrees, right? It's a 7 percentage point drop, 6.8 percentage points relative to just 2 percentage points from 2 years ago. We've just gotten used to seeing the upward trend. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it was jarring for us as well. And there's a lot that we're working from contextually to try to better understand what exactly happened and what supports that we can shore up. One thing that I think is helpful, in addition to the year-over-year comparisons, are comparisons of cohorts.
I was going to ask.
And so if you look at the longer view of these particular groups of scholars as they progress, that I think is a much more fair, and we can cut that data for you so that you can kind of see that, because I think that that's the truest comparison of the same group of scholars as they move from 7th to 8th and then on to 10th grade through the English programming. But of course, we still want to see the trajectory rise. So I would speak to that analysis, I think, which shows stronger and certainly less dips in terms of data and performance over time. So that would be one kind of data that we can provide for you. But I think additionally, the support structures that we are setting up, I think, will secure gains. And so one of the things that I think that's really a strong structure among our networks, and specifically in the high school network, is that we've adopted the protocol of looking at lesson plans together. And so we call that collaborative lesson planning. And so the high school network coaches meet with our English 2 teachers, and one of the designs of the schedule within the network is that they have common planning. So if you're in a state-tested area across the district, whether you're at Provine or Callaway or Murrah, if you're an English 2 teacher, you have a shared planning period. And we can get together with those educators. We can leverage technology to have them even meet virtually, where within a smaller high school you might not have other colleagues teaching the same content or same preps, to strengthen instruction and to preview the lesson plans ahead of time. And so there's real accountability for our network coaches in pushing in and previewing the lessons ahead, shoring up the content, actually going in to co-teach. And so we saw some real powerful instruction at Provine where the network coach was co-teaching with the English 2 teachers, and we observed classrooms, and you could see and contrast even where the teachers could continue to learn from one another. And so we're looking to build those systems of support in really strong ways. And so I think we've got the structures in place to really see gains moving forward.
That prompted another question, or that I was also asked. Did the interventions change? 'Cause I'm going to come back to the cohort piece, but did the interventions change at all? Like, have we assessed the effectiveness of the different strategies and investments, frankly, that we've made to increase performance?
No, I think we've just applied additional interventions. And I think this year what we're trying to do in really measured ways, given the ESSER cliff, and really trying to be prudent about our investments, is thinking about which are the highest leverage investments. So one systematic change that we've made, for instance, is to really think about how we're leveraging our lead partner support, both through outcomes-based contracting, but then also through narrowing the purview of the district of the lead partners, to isolate that to individual schools and teachers, and to be really focused on, okay, you supported Ms. Jones, and you were lead partner A, and when we look at benchmark results, you were the singular support that person provided, as opposed to a very well-intentioned but kitchen sink strategy where we're just going to apply and we're going to give you everything. We're really trying to think about, okay, in the context of more limited resources, how can we be really focused about the support and then also measure its efficacy more frequently to see, okay, is this lead partner support working? Is the network coach support working? And how can we compare? So Jones got this, and Ms. Smith got this, and how do we measure and how do we stack those up? So that, I think, would be an answer to how interventions are changing. We're thinking more systematically about, with more narrow resources, how do we leverage those and measure the efficacy of each. That's helpful. If you were to move up, I'm going to move over to the cohort question. If we could move to the elementary math proficiency for 2021 through 2024, I wondered, looking at these data, if this was an example of a cohort effect, potentially, or maybe it explains in part what we see. One more, two more, right there. So you see in the third grade, 2022, 23.7, then fourth grade, huge gains, 39, and then the fifth grade went up. That's that 39 group from fourth grade. That's the 30.4 in fifth grade. Is that right? Is that the right read? Mm-hmm. So potentially, is it appropriate, accurate to say that the scholars that scored the 39? They just performed, they had math skills that were, at that level, so you continue to see growth because the baseline was higher. Is that a way to think about it? That's certainly one way that we think about it. And, I mean, you can do the same with the cohort beginning in third grade and measure their trajectory over time as a cohort analysis as well for those pieces. But where there are dips, we're interrogating dips. We're thinking at the nuance level, what teacher changes occurred at what schools. And so both this analysis and then what you saw Ms. Blackshear provide, the school-based analysis, there's another unpeeling of the onion. Okay, so who was the fourth grade teacher at Johnson Elementary that saw these great gains? And so, like, that's a part of the nuance conversation. And then where there's teacher attrition, we're like, how are we retaining our best? Are we attriting, to Dr. Green's point, those that have been identified who are not getting gains? And so there's that conversation that's being had as well.
Okay.
I don't believe we've done the mapping here, so I just want to name or remind us all that we had some pretty significant gaps in staffing this past year. And what I'll ask our team to go back and do is to flag for us where we had those significant gaps, those vacancies, and where that may have shown up in the data. I don't think it would have. I thought about it as you were talking about the secondary ELA data. I don't recall those classes being so significantly impacted, but I know in elementary we had lots of, for several reasons, lots of vacancies that were pretty pronounced. And so I do want to come back to you with some clearer, more specific mapping of where that could have shown up in the data.
That's the last series of questions I'm going to ask. So so we had a ton of disruption in our buildings, and frankly, I would argue for the administrative leadership last year. Disruptions, distractions, priorities, however we want to call it. So we obviously had the response to the testing irregularities, and so that's associated with the staffing comment. And so I think it's appropriate to comment to the extent that we think that had an effect, because we had to merge classes, we had to merge schools. We had significant facility work going on, so we had to merge schools.
Yes.
And then, I also, we had a major effort to optimize our school district, and I know how many nights this group of folks was out in community meetings, not to mention how much time, which I don't see, we don't see, how much time you spent prepping for those, prepping for us. And that's time that's not spent looking at these data or working on that. And so to what extent, if you think about all of that, did that play a role in how might the absence of those things allow us to focus more? Does it free up more time to dig more deeply in with all of our resources?
One, thank you for acknowledging that. Our message is not to look back at last year and make a bunch of excuses for a lack of the kind of forward movement that we've achieved previously. But we do have to be real about it. And at an early meeting with principals this year, we really talk about last year as the setup for what's to come this year. We were able to fight through all of that and still maintain our C rating. I'm not at all pleased to see any kind of decline because we have gotten used to some wonderful increases year over year. And there's still lots of increases to celebrate. And some schools that really shine through for the kinds of improvements. We have been beating up on middle schools and highlighting the need for change there. And there's some bright spots in some of that middle school data in mathematics. And so excited to see that. But if we were able to do that with all those holes in staffing, with the loss of some leaders, recall, we lost some school leaders last year. You're right, we had to merge schools, some that we anticipated and planned, and some we hadn't anticipated. Right. All of the angst and emotion and just all the things around optimization, et cetera, while I believe we all believed we were focused on the thing, we were trying to manage through a lot. But if we were able to maintain a C, given all of that, I was joking as we started this meeting with Mr. Figures. stay tuned. I'm more than confident, that even with low-grade garden variety challenges, that we'll be able to continue to build on this. And that's, I will note that we are planning to spend less on some of the lead partners, just given the changing resources that we have. Some of those ESSER dollars that we were able to infuse, are going away. But the way that our internal team is getting smarter, has staffed up, is working with resolve around changing things, not just at the end of the year, but now the way that we're working with school leaders to ensure that what we see right now, we address right now, not next week when we have a chance to talk to teachers or what have you. The way that the climate and wellness team is addressing culture issues, partnering with schools and leaders and teachers to address culture issues, to create more of that joy that we're so convinced is so important in bringing about this change. I mean, the ingredients are there, and without those major distractions, there just is no reason why we shouldn't see another big bump, and not one that's attributed to luck or to an easier test or poor behavior on testing or any of that, but just the hard work that pays off over time. I'm convinced that we will. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't. I saw some school leaders, some of the school leaders here earlier, and to a school, they're set up for greater success. To a school, each and every school is set up for greater success this year. I started counting up the points, not to a B. That's just where my head is. I started counting up the points, and I just don't see why we can't reach even higher than a B.
Amen.
All right,
my
you
alpha,
just put it
there's
into the
only one.
universe.
Yeah. Anything else, Dr. Cormack, that you'd name in terms of, hopefully you all are getting a sense of the nuanced ways in which we're seeing the work and working with our leaders. There's no pixie dust, no Superman or Superwoman that we're calling on to help us with the work. Anything else that you want to share in terms of why we should believe any of this is going to happen?
I'll just end with this. There's an energy that's different. So if you'll recall, board members, and on my phone came up photos of this time last year. And this time last year, we had the unfortunate conversation about needing to immediately merge Witten and Peoples. We were doing that work this time last year. There was this downcast around testing irregularities and the specter of staffing and all of the things that we were kind of under the cloud. And even for the growth that we experienced, it came with this heaviness. The energy among our leaders, the energy among our teachers, it feels different. And there's an optimism and a sense of possibility. And to be a part of the Experience Friday, where out of the hurricane and having closed school one day to seeing smiling faces, to seeing our academic team lead out in really powerful ways on professional development, the energy is great, and I think it speaks to the possibility. So our new strategic plan talks about the power of people and possibilities, and you could feel that energy out in the district and around the city, and I think it's real. So stay tuned. There are going to be some exciting developments, but the energy is good, and it feels great, and I think it's a study in contrast. So stay tuned for great things ahead.
I got a couple real quick things, or well, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Who knows? It's not my call. Can you talk about how much, I mean, we're looking at this 4-year swath for a reason, right? This is coming out of COVID. And what are we seeing from sort of kids on the low end of these cohorts that, you know, the kids that are third grade last year would have been kindergarten, right? I think that's right. With when we were virtual, right? Or at least the beginning of that. And I'm just wondering what we're seeing, if there are specific interventions that are being pushed into some of those areas where kids were in sort of crucial windows that we're trying to pre-plan for, or whether there are still factors that you've seen consistent year to year that we're trying to overcome. That's been an interest of mine, is just what happened with those kids that spent all this time out of school appropriately, and then coming back in, and what are we seeing from their data, if they're any different than the people that weren't?
Yes, they are, and it's an issue for us in Jackson Public Schools. It's also an issue nationally in terms of the data, and so we're seeing these things play out throughout the state. So that current fourth grade cohort who just completed the Literacy-Based Promotion Act, those assessments, was a group that we had in pre-kindergarten, which was the first year of the grant, and they were virtual that year. And you ask any early childhood expert about virtual schooling and the value of virtual schooling for little ones, for 4-year-olds. It is really hard to do and to do well, and we see that play out in those numbers. Fortunately, we are really honing in on those numbers of students. We've looked at those that qualify for exemptions to the assessment and have been promoted, but yet our focus with elementary principals is really continuing to provide those supports into fourth grade. So yes, you cross the Rubicon into fourth grade, but it's really the skill development that we're looking at. So even beyond whether or not you've promoted, it's can you continue to perceive the supports to get you at grade level and to get you the proficiency that you need. And it's about creating those experiences. And so again, to this nuanced conversation about finance, we're also thinking in targeted ways about where are the grade levels where we need to apply the support, so that we can keep our eyes on each of those scholars, particularly those that have not performed well.
And Doc, maybe tied to the first point you were making about the fourth graders who may need additional support, haven't we expanded our use of the phonics program to later grades?
Yes, so Foundations is our foundational skills curriculum for our early grades. It focuses on phonological awareness, so the sounds at each of the sounds in the alphabet, and then phonics, the correspondence between those sounds and the letter system. And for scholars that continue to struggle with those skills, it's making certain that the interventions that they receive continue to focus on the foundational skills. And so we have a strong foundational skills curriculum that's high quality instructional material, and if I'm in fourth grade, I can continue to receive that support, but also in smaller groups so that my class continues to progress, but I get what I need. And so that's a really important way that we can balance both of those needs of attending to where they are, but also making certain that they have access to high quality, what we call first instruction, that tier 1 instruction that is on grade level. And that's, I think, the way that you balance both those interests of getting them up to grade level, but also exposing them to grade level material and reading.
The last thing, this is not a question, but Dr. Green, you said we've spent time focused on middle schools, and so I think I personally think it's appropriate to also call out good stuff from time to time, even in the midst of whatever challenges that we had year on year. We did have two, this is just eyeballing this. We did have two middle schools that had growth across every single grade level in mathematics. That was Kirksey and Cardozo. I mean, that's really good stuff. And so I'm preaching to the choir, but it's not as if it's all doom and gloom out there.
Right.
So I just wanted to specifically call those people out and just say, great job, keep pushing,
And absolutely. In Kirksey, where we've got some stable leadership, expecting to continue to see that growth and that performance. Cardozo, we had some turnover in leadership, but we've got someone there now who was actually at Kirksey and has brought a good bit of that same energy and approach, and so expecting to continue to see even greater things. Again, just two-way school, they're set up for greater success. And again, we don't believe in superheroes, right? Everybody here has got to work hard and pitch in. And very pleased with the work thus far of our middle school assistant superintendent and helping our middle school principals to understand we're not playing with you. Get it done. Yes.
All right, board members, any more questions?
I don't have a question. I'm actually excited because I'm like seeing into the future. When we were way back when.
Yes, ma'am.
And, right after the takeover and, looking at the possibilities of where we could be, I knew we would be an A, and we will be. I see it, and I'm calling it, and I know that it's going to happen, and we'd have the setbacks, right? But just all of this that you all have mentioned, with all of these setbacks, and all of this stuff that's still like punching JPS, we still held and remain. We still on our feet, and we still here, and these are things that were kind of expected for us to see, and it can be disappointing, but I just know that we're going to continue to rise and get even better. So we're going to continue to soar, and we're going to continue to, excel, and the students now with the added new buildings and new equipment and new spaces, and the teachers and staff with that little cushion of extra finances, like all the things, is just a new energy for our district as a whole. And I just hope that we can continue to receive all of that kind of extra support for ourselves, and give yourselves a hand, and still celebrate, that we're one, we are here, one district marching towards excellence.
Mm-hmm.
We are here, and we're doing it, and the beat goes on. Like, we are here.
Indeed.
We are here. I'm excited. So
Indeed.
I'm excited. Congratulations. Congratulations on our seat and moving forward.
And with that, board members, Dr. Cormick, Mrs. Blackshear, thank you. We appreciate you. All right. Thank you all for moving that to the end of the meeting. It was great to be able to be here. Dr. Hairston, is that you?
Yes, sir.
Were you asking a question?
No.
Were you making a motion to adjourn?
Oh, I think that we adjourned.
All right. Is there a second?
I second.
Dr. Hairston has moved. Ms. Hilliard has seconded. All in favor? Aye. The motion carries. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Pave a path to a brighter and innovative future.
I just want to say that a city becomes great when the righteous are a blessing to it. You're here today because you believe this. You know this deep down. You believe deep down that we truly are better together, that we grow together. Let us carry on the work of restoring our city from battleground to playground together.
Let's all congratulate Reverend Van. He is Bailey APAC Magnet School Parent of the Year.
And the rockets spread clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through that night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled